Welcome everybody to Meet the Polymaker. I am your host, Joel. Welcome in everyone for another episode of the show where we do the same thing every single episode and meet a new maker. Tonight's episode, we have Bruno from STLFlix. So lots of questions for him to see kind of what started everything, what got him into it all, and where they are now and what are they going to be doing in the future. So can't wait to talk to him here in just a little bit. But before we meet the maker, we also go over 3D printing news and also share your prints that are shared in our Discord at discord.polymaker.com over on our show off prints channel. We also have show off setup channel. We also have general channel, off topic channel. We got a lot of channels you can converse over specific topics or just have fun and chill. So come join us, join the fun. If you have questions, need help, there are many amazing brains there. So we encourage everyone to join the Discord if you have not already. And also if you're new, you'll see the still somewhat distorted graphic here from my changeover. But right now we do have a giveaway going on. That is I Am Awesome, and chat will enter you in for a chance to win some filament at the end of the show. So you do got to bear with me. You got to listen to me. You got to look at this face. But more importantly, you get to learn more about Bruno here in a little bit. And in the end, maybe you get some filament. So with that said, let's head over to the news and check out what is in the headlines. First up, we have yet another slicer. This is another fork of another slicer of another fork, and that's another fork. I've lost track, but based off of Prusa Slicer, Slick 3R, Orca Slicer, etc., Oozebot has they're releasing their pre-flight, and what this is going to be is something geared more towards, I guess, future proofing. I guess we'll say is it's going to be 64-bit architecture. So it's going to allow for, of course, all the new systems. What they've called it, there was a name that I didn't write down, in software IT terms, of basically software that is aging when the hardware continues to build. And we're past 32-bit, we're in 64-bit architecture. That might not mean a lot to most people. There's some detailed stuff if you look up the article on Fabaloo, of like true 64-bit architecture, no coordinate overflow, no silent failures, blah, blah, blah. Don't know what half that means, but what I do understand is in memory processing, it can alleviate up to 50% less RAM usage. If you've ever watched the performance of your CPU on like Task Manager and the RAM and everything else, when you slice a file, man, does it tax it. So this is looking to basically get a future-proof version. It's easier to, I guess, redo it at this point than update what we currently have. I don't understand why, but I'm sure eventually Bamboo or Orca Slicer team is going to update to where it's better for future proofing and newer software. Newer hardware. But other than that, the details are in the article if you want to really get tech geeky. Next up, we have another improved image to STL converter. So this one, we've seen a lot of them. There's Meshy 3D, there's Tripio, there's so many. This one is from a company called Hitem, Hitem 3D, and they are touting to have the best image to STL converter to where it's actually going to, fill in all the manifolds. It's going to watertight the model, everything else. Now, mind you, this is all AI. Everybody else is going to update theirs also. But right now they're touting it as another STL converter. STLFlix, we'll get to that in here a little bit, but they have an AI converter also, which is fun. I have several prints that I've done on my desk of it. But again, it's just showing more of the advancement in the AI and of getting a full ready to print model rather than a model that might print or that does need some modification. Typically in my experience, a lot of them, it'll get you around what you need. It just depends on how particular you are. But again, just a way that AI is getting more and more advanced, and it's not stopping. Next up, we have Ford with their latest truck that they've been developing as a 2027 model. Didn't see the model actually that was in the article. Just this 2027 truck design. They have printed thousands of different pieces and prototypes, and what they're using it for is actually not even usage in the overall final build, but doing the wind tunnel testing, as you see kind of the graphic here, is such minute tweaks of millimeters off of suspension pieces, reshaping things, the way that the drag efficient and air and resistance and everything else affect things makes a difference in noise, you know, the drivability, of course, fuel mileage or battery mileage, depending if it's going to be full electric. But they're able to use 3D printing to change the smallest things and see where they get the improvements from, and making some pretty big improvements, again, by just these small tweaks. And they can just keep doing it. So ultimately getting the most efficient vehicle they can without having to fabricate metal and everything else, a lot more expensive, more time consuming. But it's hitting to be an affordability target on the truck for $30,000, which that's an affordability target on any vehicle. So truck wise, I don't know, is going to be another Ford Ranger. We'll see. And next up we have Creality, that has yet another product they've released. It is their new CFS-C. This is specifically for the K1 series. And what it is the K1 series has had an upgrade path for the current CFS Pros that came with the K2 systems originally. And there's some parts and pieces, and it's not super plug and play. There's a little bit of stuff that you have to do with it. This is touting a mostly plug and play, basically plug it into the I think the C type connector. But it's a little bit different. It's not going to have anything poops, because the K1 series never had a poop chute. It's going to instead back the filament out, as you see that long piece on the back of this printer, and it's going to cut the filament. So you're going to have a piece of filament that just drops out, and it's going to, instead of poop, it'll still have waste. It'll just be a filament strand that drops out of that mechanism at the back. And then of course, retract the rest of the filament away, feed in the next. And that way it always has a fresh cut, fresh feed. I'll imagine what little left in the nozzle is going to be for the purge tower or prime tower. This case, I would imagine it's going to be called a purge tower. But I haven't seen that yet. I just seen the news that they have this new hardware out. It is the same price as the CFS. So you can get multicolor printing on the K1 series in a little bit different way. So it'd be interesting to see once people get it, of showing their poop collection or now their filament strand collection. And last but not least, we have 3D printed buildings. We've had homes, we've had warehouses. The people that are building homes, some of them are luxurious now, some are quite big and expensive. What better way to accent your new 3D printed home than with a 3D printed concrete swimming pool? This, of course, goes down the same route as everything does with 3D printing. Is it allows custom shapes, custom geometry, fitment, and everything into your homes. This one was done by a company in Australia to accent the individual's 3D printed home. And it just shows again that it's becoming more, I guess you could say accessible, but affordability. It's going to increase as they have more efficient ways of doing it. But the coolest thing is starting to see more custom homes, custom landscaping. I mean, there's no reason that this can't convert into landscaping walls and fish ponds and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see where they continue to take it and what kind of cool designs we see. Excuse me, and pardon me, I'll probably cough throughout this show because I'm getting over being sick. But again, this is cool because there's many times actually me and my wife drive down the road and you see all these same houses, and they might be beautiful, but they're all cookie cutter. They're the same house. Now people can customize, whether it be another little extra angle to it, a little different shape in the front. Cool things you can do. So I'm really excited to see this continue to trend, and maybe get a little bit closer to Ohio. We have one close. Eventually hope to get a show out there, but we'll see. But that is it for the news. We're going to head over to see what you guys have been printing and sharing in our Discord. Excuse me. So first print we have is Macam. He has not only designed, but also printed this multi-material fidget cube, a cute little thing, and it's a fidget. So of course we all love fidgets, 3D printed ones, multi-material using flexible stuff, and makes it even that more complex and gives that different feedback, like a different haptic feedback. So this is a very cool print. This is available on his profile over on Maker World. So go check him out and download it for yourself. Next up, we have Dilligaff, who has printed the Warthog kit by none other than the Kit Kiln. Mention it, that he makes about every episode. This episode is not sponsored by Kit Kiln. He does not pay us to say this, but he's got a lot of awesome models, and people print the heck out of them. And this is awesome. I'm a huge Halo fan, so the colors are excellent on this, and Dilligaff did a really good job printing it. So thanks for sharing. And next up, we have Recryptor, who has also designed under J2B, available on MakerWorld, the Tall Benchy. A goofy print, but this is one of those examples of why did you print that, or why did you design that and then print it? Because we can. It's 3D printing. We can do what we want. And it's just a silly, fun thing that I'm sure if it's on a shelf at somebody's home, it's going to get people to ask a lot of questions. And most of us that are in 3D printing don't mind talking about 3D printing. So it's a good conversation starter. Next up, we have Sean Doan, who has inspired me through sharing the K-pop Demon Hunters statuettes. These are designed by Mix and Bits, available in MakerWorld, and heading over to AnimeCon next weekend. Excited to go there. K-pop Demon Hunters being a very popular anime. I've got the long weapon there, the Gokdo from Mira, actually sitting behind me. You can't see it. It's back there, I promise. That's going to be signed by the voice actor while there. And then it's going to show up at Smurf the following weekend for auction. So stay tuned. I don't know the details, but I believe their auction also is online. So even if you're not at the event, you can still bid on all the awesome things that they're gonna have up for auction. And in the end, the proceeds go to an amazing foundation. So anyway, back to the K-pop. Awesome multicolor. This is individual pieces, so it makes it really easy to print. None of the parts are more than 4 colors multi-print per plate. A lot of them are just small one-time plates. So all goes well. I have a couple of the new colors coming in here. I hope to have them all here in time to print a handful of them in these characters and have them displayed at AnimeCon. So if you're there, swing on by, or I'll try to catch it on stream. And last but not least, we have Reliance 3D, who is currently still in development of this Marble Run modular system. What is cool is he will be at Smurf along with the Marble Run. So if you are there, or if you catch a stream, if we can get one out, or anybody else that's doing content, I'm sure this will pop up in some people's videos on YouTube, because it's just an awesome project. And also, side note, the little lights, the white things behind the Marble Run, those are RGB lights. Awesome. Saw one on his backpack at Form Next. Does really cool creations, and I'm waiting for that light system, because there's a lot of cool stuff it does. So just wait for it, but check him out. I don't know if he's got an account set up yet. I think probably on MakerWorld under Reliance 3D. This is not yet available. He's still working on it. So those are our prints for the week. That is all we have to share for now. But if you have any prints that you like, you don't like, that completely failed and just made a complete mess of everything, share them over in our show off prints. It's not just the good stuff. It's the fun stuff. They want us to share the pain with everybody else. So we've all had the failures, but you might be shown on the show next week. I appreciate everybody sharing, and always including the link when you share your prints to where we can find those models if they are available. So appreciate that. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back to talk with Bruno from STLFlix. And as part of that first commercial break, there's a fresh commercial of something coming out February 27th for those that like multi-piece prints that are really awesome, that can go into an entire city if you have the desire to do so. Check out Fulv's new model right now.
Jump on board, it's the little tram. Charming as can be, we're leaving for a village so picturesque. And then we'll make a stop at the toy factory. The Fulv Railway, where would you like to go? Santa's toy shop, Christmas castle, haunted house or manor, a Tuscan villa, a hot air balloon, the carousel, the cinema. Jump on board the Fulv Railway. The Fulv Railway. Where would you like to go? Yeah.
Imagine owning some of the best songs about 3D printing this Discord has to offer. Polymaker presents 3D Printing Hits by Silverback and Little D, the best renditions of some of the greatest hits of all time. Hits like Hallelujah,
Polymaker,
Poly Smooth Criminal. All that she wants is another printer. Print away.
There you go. Print away.
Still the TD1. All about that bag, no stabbies. And Polyman.
It's a file tonight. We're all in the mood to see it extrude, 'cause you've got your printer tuned right.
Reserve your CD today with a special TV offer by going to polymaker.com and paying $39.99. Have your credit card ready. Seriously though, this music was a joke. Go buy some Polymaker.
This is Polymax PLA, the toughest PLA in the world, and today we're gonna put that to the test. I printed this very mechanical model and we're gonna drop it from the 12th floor. You heard me well, the 12th floor. Let's go. Ready for the first drop in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, that's crazy! Not even a scratch! Let's go and check it closer. Not even a single scratch. I dropped it again from the 12th floor, and still not a single scratch. Buy your Polymax PLA right now!
Performance may vary depending on usage, individual factors, and external conditions. Individual result may vary, not a guarantee of specific outcome. Consult your professional before use. See website for details and limitations. Use responsibly.
Have you had bad customer service with your filament provider? Have you ever gotten a bad spool and never got a response when you emailed the company? Well, that won't ever happen when you reach out to Polymaker. Some people say that no company cares about you. Wrong. 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 If you never got a response after emailing a company that you've worked with in the past, you may be entitled to better customer service. We at Polymaker pride ourselves on good customer service, and we won't ever keep you waiting for a response. Email us now at support@polymaker.com and we'll get back to you within 1 business day. We'll fight for you.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Fulv's little teaser trailer there. Again, that's going to be available on his accounts on Things, Cults 3D, etc. On the 27th of this month. And if you happen to attend Smurf, you will be able to see it in person there in a wonderful display of some of his other models. I've got a sneak peek of it. It looks great. So if you're a fan of Fulv, you'll love what he's got at the show. And again, you'll love this one. I know you use a Lego, so it's a pretty accessible piece that's all modified to work with that. So it's an easy to assemble. You don't have to buy a bunch of different weird parts and do a DIY stuff. So that's the commercials. We are here to do what we always do, and we're here to meet the next maker. So without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome in Bruno of STLFlix, who is not there because my system is horrible. I'm glad that after a format, it doesn't work. Now let's welcome in Bruno from STLFlix. How's it going, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. It's awesome. I'm enjoying your show. Your show's so cool.
I appreciate it. It's been fun. This is I think it's episode 103, if my count is correct.
No, I love the format. I love what you guys are doing.
I appreciate it. Well, I love what you're doing, which we'll get to that in a little bit here. But real quick, for those that don't recognize the name or STLFlix for a crazy odd reason, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Bruno. I'm the co-founder of STLFlix, and STLFlix pretty much started as an STL subscription platform. So we professionally design all the models, thinking about how to properly 3D print them so they're ready. They're really tested out to be with the best printability. And we also do a lot of research to understand what people actually want and desire to print. We now have been focusing a little bit more on the commercial aspect. So we have the commercial license. And a little bit different from other patrons and other subscriptions, we don't have like a theme or an exclusive artist, but rather we have a lot of different themes and a lot of different styles of models, right? So we do have the traditional articulated models, but we also have more practical daily use type of stuff, the more complex costume.
Oh, I just cut you out here. 1 second here. It cut you out at costume. Give me just a second.
Is so that we can be a multi-purpose STL subscription. So we really started from the platform, and then we started to look at other things that the maker faces on their journey. And we created STL Academy, where we have 8 different courses focused on different challenges that the maker faces.
With a lot of information.
Yeah. And then most recently, the STL AI that you briefly mentioned before.
Yep. Yeah. And that's where I loved when you guys were first releasing that, as your face was on like everything.
Yeah, that was my Lincoln, my business partner that you already met. Yeah. That was his idea, because we do have this thing inside STL AI that other creators can create models that connect with the connectors that our AI generates.
Yep.
So he said, I had an idea. Let's just make that your face is in like a lot of different models. And I was like, okay.
It's good marketing, because like I said, it stuck with me. It's like when I first saw it, just laughed, and then I was seeing more and more like, okay, yep. And then even I think after the first ad I ever seen, there was more stuff I eventually saw, get released through different ads and whatnot. So no, it was it's fun. And that's what I noticed too when I first started using your guys' AI, is that you have like different designers doing the different bodies. Maybe it's a sports body, Buddha body, or just other ways, keychains, ornaments. I did I think the first thing I did was the ornaments, because I took my kids and my wife's face and I made them into elf, and I think elf reindeer and something else.
I like that generator.
Yeah, and it was cute. I mean, it was cartoon versions of them, as exactly what you expect. So no, it worked really well. So I can speak from experience. I have used it and it works. And I'm sure it's, as I was talking, of course I mentioned during talking about another AI to image thing, is I'm sure that's ever developing. I mean, that's not just hey, here it is and that's all it is. You guys are you're updating everything. I mean, you're adapting to every aspect of the business, right?
Yeah, when we first decided that we should do an AI application, we kind of wanted to look at it at a different angle, because when you open any of the AIs that you mentioned, including Hitem, which we have tried as well, it's like an open canvas, right? So you pretty much have to have the idea of what you want to make.
You got to know the prompt.
Then you have to like generate the model and then work it out until it's an actual printable model, right?
Yep.
So when we thought about it, and it really like the idea came when everybody was doing the Studio Ghibli meme from ChatGPT. It was like, people want a purpose. People want something to do with the AI. It's not like the open canvas is going to make you spontaneously go and create something different. Yep. So what we do is like every single week, we put out a new generator. And this generator can either have a new tech or a new way of doing things, or it can be the same tech, the same technique, but applied in a different way. And the output, the final result, is a 3D printable model in the end of the day.
Yeah, so basically you kind of updating the template. So for those that, like you said, is AI is a great enhancement tool and everything. It's not going to make you a genius. It's not going to make you, Leonardo da Vinci. But that's where, like you said, is where you kind of took that template of, hey, here's some fun stuff. You can add this to it, mix them into one unit. And yeah, just the seamlessness of it, I think is very fun. And like I said, I mean, who doesn't want to put their friend's face on a Buddha body? That's
Yeah.
we 3D print. We love to do crazy things, but yeah, of course, like I said, so you have lots of different aspects. STLFlix is the academy itself. Is you said I think 8 courses now, or
Yeah.
because then you also have the is it part of the academy? There's so many parts. So excuse me, like the business part of it, like the Etsy shop type thing. I don't know. I don't want to compare it, but yeah. So you have that aspect of it too, correct?
Yeah, we have our inside STLFlix. We have the STLFlix My Store, which is only for the commercial subscribers. That you can pretty much create your own e-commerce inside STLFlix, and you can pick the models that you wish to transport for that e-commerce, and it's going to automatically create that product inside your e-commerce. And then you have a few templates that you can customize. You can connect to your Stripe account so that you can actually sell directly from that e-commerce. And it's a great tool. It's a tool, especially like there are a few ways that you can use it. You can use it as your own e-commerce as well. But a lot of people have been using on fair. So you're at a fair, you're selling your stuff, and you want to do custom stuff right at the spot, and perhaps you don't have
Special
the model
orders
available. Yep. Yeah, you can just take the order right there. So it's also kind of cool as well to have it as your personal catalog. So
I like that
idea.
idea.
And you can even add models that are not from STLFlix as well. Like there is a create product separate thing that you can just put any product.
If you have
that
commercial
you
license or have your own designs, you can throw on there. I like that aspect on. I used to do like vendor sales just here and there, never crazy like some people go into. Did a few, but that's the one thing I noticed is a lot of times if you sell out of something, or you had just maybe 1 or 2 of something that people saw and then sold out by the time they come back. Windows shoppers, they always be like, yeah, no, I'll reach out to you. Like, hey, here's my email. Just let me know what you want. They never get back to you. But if you, and this is always a retail thing too. We're working retail for as many years as I did, is you want to lock the sale down then. If they pay money for it right there, they're locked in. Now they're just waiting for the product, and you need to just make sure you deliver. But yeah, so that's a nice little addition. I didn't know that was part of the. I've never used that program part. I just knew about it.
There's a saying in Brazil that says that a sale is a dish that you eat hot. If you let it sit for a while, you're gonna lose the sale.
That's true. Yep. That's I like the saying. So it goes hand in hand. So now
I'm not sure if I was able to translate it directly, but it's something along those lines.
I mean, it makes sense. So
it does.
I like it. But so of course we got STLFlix that's been a thing for a little bit, but let's go back into kind of the beginning. Did you start 3D printing for other reasons, or was STLFlix kind of an idea that then led to you getting involved with 3D printing? Like how did your entry into the 3D printing world happen?
That's a long story, but I'll try to short that. So I'm an industrial designer myself. So that's what I studied. And when I was finishing school, which was in 2013-ish, 2013 actually. The reps, they were starting to get more popular here in Brazil, but it was kind of tricky still to get the kits and all of that. But then I was able to purchase one that was kind of like an industrialized, a manufactured rep, so to say. And it was a horrible 3D printer. It was a horrible, but not because the manufacturer was bad, but because technology was still pretty at its early stage. I don't know when you started 3D printing, but it was 8 years
ago. So mine wasn't bad. My start was an Ender 3, so it could have been worse.
Yeah, it was prior to the Enders.
Yeah.
But I always loved the idea of 3D printing. And I always had a 3D printer with me. So I started to work I actually worked for an American company called Whirlpool for the home appliances.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so I worked at Whirlpool for like 3.5 years. I went to the US multiple times, to Michigan for that. And at one point I bought a CR10, which is which is like the big Ender.
Yeah, yeah, that was my first big printer.
The same structure. Yeah. And then I started printing with that, and I was like, okay, now I think 3D printing is ready to create final products that I can actually sell to someone. And for me, that was very exciting as an opportunity, because as an industrial designer working for a different company, you have to sort of like design within the boundaries of what the company does. You're limited, right? Yeah. You don't have that much creative freedom in the end of the day. So with a 3D printer and knowing how to 3D model, being an industrial designer, I felt like this could be the tool for me to create my own brand. So I created a brand of 3D printed products. It was called Casa Z. which casa in Portuguese is home. So it's like home Z is like the command that
There
you
you
do on
go.
the printer. So he'd have like this free
I like it.
association. And then it got really, really popular here in Brazil. Some of our products ended up in the biggest reality TV show in Brazil, which is the Big Brother, which I know you
Okay.
have an equivalent in the US.
Yep.
But in here it's just crazy big. And we have a lot of products in the Big Brother house. And it started selling like crazy. Like our products started selling really, really well. And it was in the middle of the pandemic. So it was actually a bit of a social experiment to see these people in that house, and they knew nothing of what was going on inside, on the outside of the world, that the world was coming to an end.
Crazy.
So it got even more popular this year because of that. Like they were there partying and having fun, and we were all stuck at home. So it started to sell really well. Our product started to sell really, really well. But at the same time, a lot of people realized that this was a big opportunity. So they started to copy our products a lot. Like they would post on Facebook groups, on 3D printing groups, like, hey, who has this STL? And then I started to rage answer some of these posts, which is terrible, saying this is not a free STL. This is our design.
Especially when it's like your own design, it's kind of hard not to like say something like, I know it's internet, you're going to get lit up. But it's like at the same time, it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Like now I think I'm wiser and I wouldn't do that. But I don't know. it kind of happens with us quite a bit still.
Emotions get in the way sometimes.
Yeah. But then then people were starting to like hire people to copy our products, and they were paying like a lot for one individual model. That's when I first got the insight that perhaps an STL subscription could be a good deal, because we were going well. We had not only the products, but also good photos displaying the products. And I think that all of that kind of helped us to sell a little bit more, to look more premium, look more professional.
Yeah.
And this was what I wanted to package and deliver to other makers, because I felt like there was an opportunity in there for that. I really believe that 3D printer was going to grow. And as it grew a lot, and it's still going to grow a lot more. So I felt like this was a good pivotal moment to, instead of delivering the products, deliver the whole package for other makers to explore commercially.
And it could be a move.
Yeah, and it could be more scalable in a global business, because when you manufacture, you still have to actually manufacture the things, which is great. And it's still a very good business. I know a lot of people that profit a lot from selling prints.
Yep.
But I felt that at that moment that perhaps this was my best role within the 3D printing community than printing the stuff that I was designing. I felt like this could be a bigger thing, as it actually became a bigger thing than Casa Z was.
Yeah, because you don't have the taxes, the shipping, the VATs, the you don't have to deal with all that extra stuff. And like you said, it can be profitable. You handle things right. But yeah, I think especially too is as 3D printing got more accessible. I think there is that move that I don't want to say necessarily has to be done, but of course you're kind of one of the first that, at least in the community or in industry that I've seen, come to it in such a full force of having something so big and accessible for people to have. Of course, there's always been millions of models out there, but you have to source each one, find each one to kind of have, especially how you guys always get the emails and the themes and everything else that you go with. And then having an option for a commercial license of doing that. Like I said, I don't sell anything now, but when I did, it was fun. And it was the more interesting the stuff and the fresher the stuff, it was the easier to sell rather than always just the same copy and paste product. But
yeah. And that's a lot of what we look for right now. So we have a long process. People look from the outside and it thinks like we're straight away on CAD designing stuff. But we have refined our process quite a bit. So we look a lot on market trends and products that are selling well outside the 3D printing space and inside the 3D printing space, because in the end of the day, we still need to convince the maker on the other side that this is a good deal for them to print and sell. So we have a lot of great products hidden on our catalog that people are not aware that they can be big hits, but that's all right. That's something
Yep.
that we need
You
to
guys-
promote better. But we do a lot of market research, like on Amazon, on Etsy, on AliExpress, and a lot of different places to kind of like find those products that could be transported really well into 3D printing. And then people can print and scale and sell really well. And we have some amazing stories of people that were able to like completely change their lives and change their professions, their careers with 3D printing, which is awesome. By the way, one of the person that I spoke last year, I've been to the US and I interviewed a few people. It's Brendan. It's Manly Mutt. He's here watching the live stream. I see him commenting.
Manly Mutt.
Yeah, and he's one of these guys that was able to pivot his
Turn it into a
career and
business.
his lifestyle because of 3D printing, which is awesome.
I think during your Black Friday stream and everything, you had testimonials. And yeah, just a lot of that, and that's I think it's really, of course, some of it's down to where you're at. There's certain things that sell better in certain regions and things like that, but it's really just knowing the audience, knowing what sells, and then just the marketing aspect. It's not, of course, you're empowering them to do it, but there's still some work to be done. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I've seen people. Some people make ridiculous money off of light boxes and off of articulated dragons and all that. So it's really how much effort do you want to put into it, is you can get a really good return. But I know a lot of people, especially now being in the industry, that have just stopped what they were doing and went straight to 3D printing because they find that. And not everybody can 3D model. I am not a 3D modeler. That's why I rely on sites like yours and all the other repositories of getting my stuff, because I can be creative, but it's not on the aspect of putting it into a 3D model. So I give props
and
there.
that's something that I tell the team all the time, because in the end of the day, the maker, the guy that is going to actually print the model, he kind of co-creates the product with us, because what we give them is almost like a template, but then on top of that template, there's the colorway that you're going to put in, the scale that you're going to do it, the way you are going to form it, if you're going to build a combo or not. There are several different ways that you can be, as you said, creative about it, to either make it sell better or look cooler. There, like Brandon again, he's a guy that works really well with the colors, and he thinks this is one of his differentiators, and I agree, because he knows how to proper cater and assemble and co-create with us to get the final aspect of the product.
Well, that's what I say about the events that we go to, like the rep wraps and everything. Is I've seen a ton of 3D printed stuff. I've seen a lot of the same 3D printed stuff, but it's crazy that every event I go to is, whether it's the technique of where something's printed or the colors that people choose, is the different perspectives and ideas and creative juices in people's brains. It still amazes me, because every single event I go to, it's something new, not just a new model. Like I said, it could be a model I seen 2 years ago, but they did it in a new way. Is I use the example lately is one of our community members has a belt printer and started using our new gradients in it on a snake, on the articulated snake, and
that must be a cool effect.
The other way. Yeah, it's like, how has no one, how have I seen this more? Because belt printers have been around, but how has nobody messed with this? Because gradients have been around in belt printers, and it's just, that's another thing that just blows my mind. I would have never thought of it. I knew that belt printers print different at an angle. I know the way gradients, of course, the filament works, but I would have never pictured that in my head, that, oh, that's what that could look like. And it's just, again, I've been in it 8 years now, and that was just, I think he's in the last couple months that he's done that, and just amazed more and more. And the more everything's accessible, the more brains that get involved in it, is you see so many different, more, like you said, creative ways of using something that's there. So you're kind of given the tool, and from there it's theirs to print standard, print multicolor, print in a whole different way, throw some gradients in it, some glitters, whatever it might be. And it's always cool to see the way people take things.
Yeah. Now I got curious to see what happens if you put a dual color filament on a belt printer, because I've never seen that too. Yeah,
because it's I'm Tech Cheaper. If you're I don't know if you're in chat right now, he usually is. Make sure you get a either dual silk or dual matte. I'm interested in seeing how that would work, because it would change maybe just top bottom. So it's because gradients are normally bottom to top.
Yeah, I think it would be top bottom, so rather than
So I guess it depends on the model. Yeah, it could be, but again, it's just those things. Is now that we have more people in it and there's more printers out there, we see just crazy cool things. And again, the creations they make, whether they design it or they just print it, there's creativeness in kind of all aspects of it.
And we're entering the multi-tool generation as well, which I'm super curious to see what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah,
like we have our
waste,
theories of stuff in here that we want to launch that I think it's too early, because like we're going to cater for like a very specific target, but we do have a few ideas of stuff that we could do blending materials. But it's going to be a completely new chapter within 3D printing, I think. Now that it's going to be accessible for the greater audience.
Yeah. So, speaking of like the different chapters, is because when did you guys start? How long have you been around?
So we've launched 2021. It started as a project, as a side project from myself, my partner, and I. And then in 2022, we actually released the first version of the platform. So that was still the Ender era, so to call.
Okay, so that wasn't Bamboo yet.
It was before the multicolor craziness.
So now
I think it boosts us quite a bit, the multicolor thing, because we were there, we were ready, we were running already. So I think we've shifted to multicolor because the multicolor adoption was crazy fast as well, which I don't know what's going to happen in the multi-tool because they are a little bit more expensive, but we started with the X1 as well. So I don't know. I don't know how fast the
price point that was it went up and then it kind of went down and it kind of come up and it's like plateaued, especially, of course, we got the U1 of, being the first thing, really affordable tool changer. But yeah, I think especially the multi-material is another one that, we're only scratching the surface right now, like, TPU with PETG and doing some joints, which is awesome.
Yeah,
but all the
the fact that they don't blend together as well.
Yep.
Like if you put PETG and PLA, they don't blend. It's like the perfect support or whatever.
Yeah, that's I just did a 3D printed case, and it had a little slight overhangs. I just used PLA for with the TPU print, and it was good to go. But I think that's where more people are going to come up with these awesome ideas. But like going back on the bamboo, the ender to the bamboo phase, we'll say. Was there a lot of change there, or were you, because of course, most of us didn't expect bamboo to just take off like it did, especially with multicolor and everything else. Was that something you kind of you saw it and before it even really came out from Kickstarter, you were preparing for, or did you kind of wait? Like how'd that decision making go?
It's kind of hard to try to understand what we did in the past, because we were also developing as a company, so we were really early stage. But we always had like as small as it was still a team, and we had like these different types of professionals inside the company. So I think it was easier for us to understand, hey, what do we need to adapt on our workflow in order to include the 3MF and to make more multicolor models better. And I think we shifted too much on the multicolor side, as a lot of people did. And then we had to dial back a little bit and go back to the multi-part with different colors and but also give the multicolor available option as well. But our workflow did change a little bit. I think we were able to put more people that were not necessarily working with the designing phase, but rather the refining phase of the model.
Okay. So working on splitting it up and making it into the parts and objects and everything else.
Exactly. And also understanding what are the ideal way of splitting that object. What is the ideal way of painting it? Should we paint it directly in the slicer? Do we paint it on CAD and then translate it? So it was a bit of a change in the workflow.
So now with the designs, of course, now you do cater towards multicolor, eventually multi-material and things like that. Do you guys have a base guideline for all years, no supports or minimal supports? Is there any baseline that you say hey, every model we have has to adhere to at least these three guidelines? Is there anything like that that you have in that?
We do have quality checkpoints, but we don't like to limit ourselves, because it's always that trade-off, right? Sometimes it's more interesting to put some supports but preserve the aesthetic, and sometimes let's remove the supports, get rid of a little bit of the aesthetic, but make sure that the model prints without supports.
Right.
And one thing that we are constantly pushing with the team here, it's because they work on a place that has 60 different printers. They have infinite filament. So sometimes it's hard for them to feel the cost of printing for the final user. So we're constantly pushing that. It's like the guy on the other side of the screen, he has to look at this model and say, okay, I am going to spend money to purchase filament to actually print this. Is this something that is worthwhile? And so for that reason, we don't have a specific rule. Sometimes it's best
smart
to put support. Sometimes it's best to remove supports. But we have to think about the printability and how, if it's worth to print that or not. That's kind of like
that makes sense, because I mean, if your models weren't easily printable, you're going to lose a lot of customers. I download 5 models and 3 of them failed on the first print. I'm probably not going to be too keen to return. So no, I mean, that's it's great that you do that, in-house quality check, and have, not just the designers, because sometimes designers might not want to take back something where, the person that's refining the model will be like, no, this is a good trade-off. This is, so no, I think that's a good quality control step of just making sure that end product is exactly what you said is. It's printable. I can download it, because, let's admit, the way 3D printing is going, a lot of us are getting lazy. We don't want to mess with stuff. We wanted to open the file, hit print, and then go to it in 3, 4, or 5 hours and take it off the printer. So you gotta, it's hard to please everyone, but I'm sure that's a task that you take serious every single day with what you guys do.
And that's something that I would like to try to educate the audience a little bit better, because I see a lot of people that they go straight into default settings. And if you sit down and take 5 minutes to look what you're slicing, sometimes you get a much better results, or you can get a much faster print, or you can get a much more efficient print. So there are, if you tweak a little bit your settings, there's so much they can extract from your printer that is going to make your print so much better, or so much faster, or so much cheaper. And a lot of the, especially the new users, that they didn't have to, when I started, we had to create the profiles inside the slicer. So we had to know the dimensions of the printers. We had to test retraction settings. Retraction was
there wasn't just a downloadable file to, transfer these profiles in, here's the printer profile. And there was a little bit more, not a little bit, there was a lot more tweaking of like you said, of just the all the filaments, especially the difference in filaments and everything else too, is I was on the precipice of it becoming a little bit easier, but I used Simplify 3D, I think it was
Simplify 3D.
Yep. And that's it was luckily
or Cura slicer.
Yeah, Cura. That was my friend who was luckily into 3D printing about 6 months prior to me. He had already worked out all the bugs and found, I think it was Maker's Muse's profile for Ender 3 or something. So he had all the files for me. But I mean, it's,
so you would also have to dig for profiles, right? We were as much as we were searching for STLs, we're also searching for profiles. Hey, can you give me your CR10 profiles, please? Then I would send it over.
It's discouraging to have to, when I don't want to sound too lazy, but when you have to put that extra work into it, because again, when you're going to a new hobby, it's one thing to learn some stuff, but then I got to track this and this and this, especially when you don't understand half of it. But and now we just download a slicer, select the printer we got. Here's the filament that I'm using, and it's off to the races. But there's still, like you said though, there's still room for tweaking. I tell anybody is when you slice any model, I don't care if it's a 3MF from somebody you downloaded before, look at the final, in the preview. Look at the preview, look around it and everything, because there's times that it'll be a weird little patch, or especially when it comes to thin walls, is that it's a big hole in the model. Well, you're gonna print it and never notice until you're like, why the heck is there a hole in my model? Well, there was you had to probably tweak some settings, but there's always room for improvement. But now, do you guys? I know you have the integration with Bamboo Studio. Do you try to have integration with other slicers, or do you? There's so many printers out there. I know it's hard to keep up with.
Currently, if I'm not mistaken, we have integration with the Bamboo slicer and with Arca slicer, which I think these are the most
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most standardized
If it's
one.
not Orca Slicer, it's a company's version of Orca Slicer.
Yeah, it's a
Snap
branch.
Orca, Creality Slicer. I think really all of them. So in the end, it
Yeah.
works well, and that is one thing that's nice, that we've found a software that works so great, and everybody can make their own fun tweaks to it. So, but then now with that too is again, you're shifting now to where you're already thinking of different ideas and models to use for the multi-material. Has that been a big change too, or have you had some things in the pipelines of like some ideas at least? Like what does the project board look like for you guys?
Currently, we only have a few concepts that we haven't started to. They're not in the pipeline yet, because like they're I think. Well, we have a few contestants, right, for the multi-tool. We have the bamboo with the H2C. We have the step maker. We have them both here at the office. But I think it's not. Step maker is still not able to deliver volume yet, and the H2C is a bit too expensive at the moment. So I think we're going to wait for the adoption a little bit longer.
Oh yeah, and we know the way
we have a
field
few
moves.
metrics in here that we measure the success of our models, and one of them is the number of downloads inside our website. And I think right now, if we put one of these concepts, they're not going to have a lot of downloads yet. So I think we can wait a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah. I think even with the popularity of the U1 it's still a very small percent of the overall 3D printing world of who has 3D printers. So yeah, as much as everyone wants tool changers, not everybody has tool changers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but now with all the technology where it's at, where we know in the foreseeable future where it's going, is there anything that you're excited about in terms of 3D printers or accessories or anything else in the field that either may be coming or that you hope to be coming?
I'm really excited about the multi-tools at the moment. I think I've made it clear already. I'm excited for where it's gonna lead. I think it's gonna make the multicolor models more appealing, easier to print, faster to print. And one of the things that I think really changed, I don't know from your perspective, but I feel that when 3D printing became multicolor, a lot of people that were outside 3D printing looked at it and say, whoa, is this what the 3D printer is able to make? And then we had, like, as you mentioned, this dial back when people started to realize how much filament we were wasting. And then we kind of like moved back a little bit from multicolor printing. But now with the multi-tool, it's like, okay, we can do it now because it is cost efficient. It is fast. So I think it's going to change in more ways than just the multi-material application, but also on the aesthetical perception of
Absolutely.
a print, which I think broadens up a little bit the entire audience that 3D printer is able to cater to. Because a lot of people in the early days, they were like, I think it doesn't look that good. Then it became something that looks good, but it was not that good to use. Then it looks good and it's good to use. Now it looks good and it's good to use and it's cost efficient. So I think every chapter
it's definitely going to attract a lot more people, like you said, because I seen that same thing you did of people that see a multicolor print for the first time. They're like, that's awesome. And then like whether they get into it or they're just asking questions, then they realize like how much waste. Like if you're doing a small figure, that's 50 grams and you're 150 grams waste. And then it's like you said, it's that peak, like awesome. Then like, oh, that's a lot of waste and it takes quite a bit longer. And then now I think we're getting back to that where it's kind of getting back up to a little bit of higher peak of, again, accessibility, the tool changers. But I think it's anything that brings more people to it. And I've said this in the previous shows is the more people that 3D print, we find that a lot of people that 3D print, whether they had background in it or not, get into 3D modeling, design, whether it be for simple functional stuff or awesome, cool creations. It just allows, for more things to be out there. And again, the perspectives of everyone to be shown in really cool different ways. So I can't wait to see even more what 3D printing has in store for us. And where it goes in just the next year or two is going to be crazy.
Yeah. And something else that I look forward for as well, which is something that I started to realize better last year when we started to interact more with the community is like this ability, as we said in the past, as I said in the show, of actually transforming people's lives in different ways. And I think this is something that we're still at the very early stage of, like, what are the things that people can make out of their garage that can spin into a new business, or that can become like this extra source of income that helps people pay their bills, or the super exciting hobby that transforms kids from customers to creators, which is awesome as well. Instead of going and purchase something, you make it in your house with your parents. It's a completely different way of looking at consumption in general. So I'm also excited about the transformation that 3D printing is making and will make in society as well. I'm idealistic, but that's the way I see it.
No, I think that's the thing, is I think everything that we do, and whether you're a creator, a maker, whatever, is just inspiring others, and really with the STLFlix is kind of the same. It's inspiring people to print then design their own, or print and sell. So then you're not just inspiring, you're also empowering them. And that's, I mean, to have any source of income. When I started to do the 3D printing, it was always, as long as I could sell a few things and support the hobby, buy the next printer, buy some extra filament. That's all I cared about. I never, figured it would take me where I'm at now. But yeah, and some people like have done the same thing and then just went crazy with it. Like I said, I've got friends that's all they do now. They either design, or they design and sell, or they just sell. So there's kind of multiple aspects there. So it's awesome to see where it's at. And again, having all these different outlets and then, different ways you can take it.
Yeah. And that's something that I find it really cool as well. What an amazing way to live your life. You can stay at your home. You can print your stuff rather than going to work at some corporate job in the city that you have to take your car, ride for an hour, and then come back for another hour at the end of the day. Like, you can stay at your own home, print your stuff, either sell at a local fair or sell online. It's such a nice alternative to have, and I'm not saying that it's going to change.
It's not for everyone, but it's exactly. It's definitely it's nice to have more options. And I mean, yeah, especially like you said, number one, being able to stay at home, not have to drive to the factory. Is you also, once you get efficient enough, you have a print farm. Once you send those printers, the prints to the printers, you have to wait for them to print. You got 2, 3, 4 hours to go do whatever you want. Go run your errands, go do this. So it gives a lot of flexibility for sure.
And we're from a different landscape a little bit, because in Latin America, we still have a lot of like Uber drivers or pizza delivery guys that work for apps as well. And for these guys, they purchase a motorcycle and they risk their lives with the traffic, delivering pizza or delivering food, where they could potentially use the exact same money and work from home on a much safer environment. And it could potentially make a lot more money than risking their lives delivering food.
Absolutely.
So I think from our landscape a little bit, it kind of brings a different perspective, or not a different, but a more extreme perspective on the same subject. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying for sure. Which I'm going to real quick ask community if anybody's got any questions for Bruno, whether for Bruno or for STLFlix, the both. Go ahead and ask in chat. I know there's a little bit of delay, but we'll ask some questions here as we get close to the end. So anybody wants to know something, ask away and we shall see. And real quick too is the JL Stice. I think it's Stice or Slice. It's blurry on my my screen. We don't do the politics stuff in here. So I appreciate it, but we try to stay neutral here, having fun. But Bearded Printer says, oh, he didn't even ask a question. He said, but I thought we don't talk about Bruno. I'm sure you've only heard that about 1.5 million times since that movie.
I've listened so many different times this same joke.
Oh, I bet. Well, you know what? We're making an exception this time, Bearded Printer. We are talking about Bruno. We have been for the last 45 minutes. So should we register STLFlix.com if it's available? Wait, what?
It is available. We have that registration already.
What does it say? STI Flix? What is it?
I can't see this.
STILFlix? I don't get what the comment is. I'm sure it's a funny joke that's over my head, but let's see. Those designers on STLFlix. Yeah. So do you like the designers? Like, do you have in-house only, outsourced designers? How do you handle the designers?
So we have the designers in-house. So I think the question is why we don't label the designer that did the model, right?
Okay.
And there's a very simple explanation for this. It's because every model that we put out goes through a big pipeline with a lot of different teams that work within those models. So it starts with the research team that we kind of research what we are going to do. As I said, we research on Amazon and Etsy. We find trends online. We follow movies and stuff that are going to come out so that we can work within the same atmosphere. Like, I don't know, there is going to be a steampunk movie coming out in February. So we kind of like try to launch something within that team in the kind of like the same period. So it starts with the research team. Then it goes to a team that we call the base mesh team. This is where the engineers and the CAD designers are. So they design the entire model, just the shell of it. So it's more like the mechanical model that does the movement, that does the articulation, that really it's just a functional model with zero aesthetic. And then it goes to the sculpture team that actually sculpts on top of that, preserving the mechanical aspects. And then it goes to the last team, which is the model shop team, that approves the models and say, okay, this is a printable model, we can launch it. And these are the guys that vet whether it's going to be, this is like a finished, polished product, or we should go back. So for that, we don't have a designer behind the model. We have like this entire pipeline of a lot of people that just gets the model for a while and then moves it on, so everything here is an STLFlix team model, not a model from a specific designer.
That's I think a pretty good in-depth explanation. Let's see here. And then it's Diablo Spawn. This is a good question, especially having commercial license and everything. Is do you have a whole department of lawyers that chase down copyright infringements?
No,
that can be a hard subject.
No, we don't. We have we do search a little bit on the main marketplaces, but especially because our community, rightfully so, demands us to do it. They pay for the commercial license, so they want to have exclusivity on the models that they're getting, so they don't want people reselling the models, which is not legal, and it's not something that it's going to be cool for them. So we search like broadly, but like very on the surface of the main marketplaces. But our community really sends to us
good, like self-policing.
Yeah,
I see something, and here you go. And then
have
you found that process with like Etsy stores and everything of simple to like report? Has it been pretty seamless, or is it a headache that you have to deal with?
On we have the DMCA thing, and then on a few Etsy shops it's easy. On Maker World, Creality Cloud, and all of that, it's usually pretty fast to remove the models as well. Even though I don't know if you guys are following it, but there's a little bit of a backlash on the designer's side on these marketplaces, because they are feeling, well, it's happening with a lot of designers, not only STLFlix. People are downloading and then submitting free on Maker World, because if you get downloads, you get filament for free.
Yeah, the points, yep.
So it's I completely understand why they're doing it. It makes Maker World more alive. It's rewarding for the designers that actually design the models, but it also created a little bit of a filament getting scheme of just getting a model that is from someone that is popular, uploading over there. It's gonna get downloads because
the first upload, and have it available. Yep.
So it is. People. So I know a few designers that are kind of mad with that. But I think eventually we're gonna get to a solution on that. But we do report like that. We do report with what the community is telling us, and we search like on. We don't do like a thorough search, but
just enough. If something's brought to your attention, then you can send out the report.
Yeah.
Let's see, Firebird TPG has asked, does STLFlix plan to have a referral program? They have a retail store and refer customers to STLFlix, but they'd love to see some type of referral relationship.
we've been asked that a few times already. So we don't have that like on our. We're not designing that, but I think it could be something cool. I'll take that.
Have to look
and
into it.
think
Yep.
about it.
Always listen for feedback. So, yep. It's a good. It's
Yeah.
good. Let's see. Anthony Noel asked, do you think with the growth of machines, will older machines such as single color, single print head lose the ability to gather files? Or will there be a viewpoint
If
of
they're
making
gonna have
files?
some sort of like not
Okay.
being able to read the models.
Yeah, I think with lose the ability to gather. I mean, yeah, I think I'm not sure I fully understand the question, but I think I think everything's pretty future proof for the most part. I don't think we're, STLs have been around for quite some time. G code has been the thing, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure I fully understand that question, so I apologize.
Yeah, I think some of the older machines they're not going to be able to make some of the newer models. Like if a model is meant to be done with, I don't know, TPU and PLA, for instance, you're not going to be able to make it on an older machine, but only in those specific cases. And I think merging materials is cool, and it's going to happen more and more. But still, there's a lot of stuff they can do with mono materials. So
Oh, absolutely.
that's not going to change.
Yep, for sure. Let's see here. Next question. Renan Lima, W5D. To avoid wasting filament when printing, do you recommend any safety measures?
Well, we do have a good video on our YouTube channel about reducing filament waste on multicolor prints. And I think what he says about security measures is how much you reduce the how much it retracts the filament before cutting. I think that's what he meant, because if you reduce it too much, you can get the filament to clog. But what we found is that if you use a multiplier up to 0.5, we haven't had any clogging issues. If this is what he meant, I need to get the actual name of the setting, which I'm not remembering right now. Let me see if I can open on the slicer. But we tried that out quite a bit, and let me see if I can find 1 second. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know the name? Do you remember the name of that file or of that setting?
Like of how much it retracts before it cuts?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mess too many with the settings, so.
Well, but there's a good video on our YouTube channel about that that talks about specifically filament waste, and it talks about that setting that I can't remember the name right now.
There you go.
Long retraction when cut. That's what it is. And it's inside the filament settings.
Let's see here. And then, okay. So then we also, the next question we have is from Agro Magnet. I don't know if it's already addressed. Is your AI able to minimize overhangs intelligently and make watertight models, maybe even be able to slice different parts and color groups?
So there are a few questions condensed into one.
First one. So yeah, we'll go first. Is AI able to minimize overhangs intelligently and make the watertight models? Kind of, fill the manifolds.
So the way our AI works is that we have specific configurators. So I have an example here. This is a fridge magnet that I did from a photo that I took in China last year. And as you can see, it has the cut in the back. Because what we do is we generate the model, and then we do sort of a basic subtraction, addition operation after that, right? On the web. So you can do it directly on your browser. You don't have to download it and do it yourself. And we teach the process of doing it. So by doing that, first of all, we work with the 2D concept. So the 2D concept kind of tries to minimize on the orientation and the way you're going to be doing this 2D. So it does reduce it a little bit. This one is another model that we have. We have the Polymaker inside the AI. So what it does, it generates the model like that, and then you can cut the articulations and you cut it in the back. So this model specifically, it does have a little bit of support right here that the model generated the arms like that, So I did have to put a little bit of support. But when we are able to control the 2D and we're able to control the cuts, we can minimize a lot the usage of supports and the overhangs, but we are not able to zero it out. So that's the first part. The water type models, we are on the final stage of implementing the fix directly on the web. So I think like from the next 2 weeks, our models, they are almost all of them watertight, but not all of them. We do have a percentage of models that comes with.
There's so many variables when you're converting, an image to STL and everything else. So yeah, there's
especially doing the operations as well. When you do the Boolean cut or the addition, sometimes that generates results that were not previously anticipated, and then you have to fix the model after the operation, and that's where we still have a percentage of models that come out with a flaw. Then you can fix in the slicer, but it happens. We're finalizing the fix on the web as well. I think within the next 2 or 3 weeks it should be out, and with that we are going to be much closer with the color, which is still not there yet.
Object kind of object separated.
There. Yeah, it's a much the AI. It's a much bigger challenge than everything else that we did, because to create STLFlix, we had to code the entire platform, but that's way different than manipulating 3D models on your web browser. This is a completely different
the web browser and not a whole extra software, and so and that's the thing. I think with the of course all the updates with AI and everything else, that there's always going to be improvements and additions and changes you can make. So it's mainly just staying up on it as best as you can.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the most audacious project that we did, and it still is. So we're still working and trying to improve bit by bit.
So I think I think we caught up on all the questions. So what I'd like to do is end everything off with some rapid fire questions. The first 2 questions are the same for every guest. Other ones are just whatever the heck I come up with on the top of my head. But first things first, and this, I know you guys have your own filament. So this question, it does not have to be answered with a Polymaker material. What is your favorite color and or surface effect filament?
Colors or what?
Color or surface or surface effect. So like a red or is it a red glitter, like sparkle, or red silk?
Right now, I'm obsessed with silk with the fuzzy skin. I think the combination of these two generates something that is so cool. This is what I've been printing for myself mostly lately. I think this combination of fuzzy skin with the silk filament, it generates an amazing surface effect that I think is pretty hard to achieve outside 3D printing. This is always, as an industrial designer, I like when you can achieve things that are not achievable on a different manufacturing process. And I think this is one of the things.
No, that's honestly, I've never thought about using fuzzy skin on silk. So now that's another new thing that I'm gonna have to try, because that did look pretty sharp. Is that a silk black? Yeah. Excuse me. Was that a silk black print?
No, this is a.
I just look really.
It's kind of like it's not black. It's kind of like a very dark gray, kind of like a graffiti. No, a graphite. I don't know.
Graphite. Okay, graphite or gunmetal.
Gunmetal, yeah.
Like, well, the second question, then, of course, having access to so many models, this might be hard. But what, out of everything that you've printed from the very beginning till now, what has been the one print that you're most proud of?
The one print that I'm most proud of. That's hard to say.
You've been in it for a while, so you've had just a few prints.
Yeah, I have so many prints in here. I try to get at least 1 or 2 prints a week from STLFlix to like look at how our service is, and because I like it. But I don't know. I think like the first ones are the ones that you think the
They really
most when you
stick
think
to.
about something like that. Yeah. Um, and I think like the first set of vases that I did that kind of like sparked the idea of starting Casa C, which was my first brand, are the ones that I'm most proud of because at that time was really about like keeping insisting. And when I think back, I don't know why I insisted so much, but I'm so glad I did. That these are, I think, are the prints that I'm most proud of.
Awesome. Yeah, that's, I think I'm the same as like, I've still got some of my very first ever prints that are on the shelf in my workshop because it's, you know, and they can be simple. I have my original Benchy. I still have the OG first print ever, but yeah, that's a lot of times, like I said, the longer you're in it, that's a harder question to, because is it something I did for a gift? Is it something I did for myself? Is it something I created? So, but no, good answer there. And then the last question is, say I'm an individual that's getting into 3D printing and I'm wanting to find a site that might have some really cool models, maybe some training courses because I'm new to 3D printing, or I just like to play with AI and want to develop some really fun, cool prints with AI. Do you know of any site that has like all that stuff combined that I could go to?
I have a great tip for that one. STLFlix.com.
I've heard of it. Yeah, STLFlix.com. So now, social wise, are you guys on social platforms? If anybody's wanting to keep up to date with like updates or upcoming features, where's the best way to kind of watch you guys?
We have our Facebook group, which is more like the inside community where we talk about the things that we are developing and all of that, and people from our community connect and talk and share prints. But we are available on all social platforms: YouTube, TikTok. We're not on Twitch. This is my debut on Twitch, by the way. But we are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and we also have a Discord server that is for the subscribers only.
And all those links are probably on the STLFlix.com, at least for the YouTube.
Yeah, all those are over there. But if you search STLFlix on any search tab, it's gonna be there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I greatly appreciate you coming on onto the show. I'm sure I will see. Are you planning on any US events this year?
We haven't put on a schedule yet, but definitely.
Awesome.
We've been to Remurf 2 years ago, and it was super cool. Hugo has been to TCT Detroit, and he loved it. So I still, if you want to recommend events, we can think about.
Yeah. I can definitely let you know. If you like to sweat a lot, then Murph, but I think actually it's going to be cooler this year because they moved it up a little bit. But yeah, no, definitely I can let you know kind of what are the go-to events because they all have their different aspects. They're all great, but yeah, I either way, I look forward to seeing you here in the future, and of course, I'm sure we'll be working on some fun projects together that we can announce, whenever they come about. So I greatly appreciate it again for coming on.
We will be visiting the Polymaker factory in like less than a month.
That's in March, I believe, right?
It's in March, yeah. During the TCT.
That'll be like the first time. I'm not sure. I know Luke is working with you on that. I'm not sure how in depth of the factory, but I think it's going to be the first time that, because you're going to be live streaming too, right? Throughout the trip. Are you going to have content for it?
We are going to be creating content for the entire trip. So if you want to see as much as they want to show us,
but we haven't had any videos from that yet. So to be honest, I've worked for Polymaker for almost a year and a half, and I have yet to see inside that factory.
You haven't been to Chengdu yet?
What's that?
But you're not going to be there during the
yeah. I'm bouncing around to 800 different places, but I'm not making it this year. So well, I'll probably be in China a little bit later in the year, but now I just need a reason to come down to South America.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to make that happen too.
There we go. Well, I appreciate it again. Thank you very much for your time. And yeah, we'll talk soon here, and you have yourself a good night.
Thank you very much for having us on the show.
Hey, thank you. See you later.
See you later.
There you guys have it. Episode 102, 103. I don't remember at this point. We're almost to 2 completely full years. But Bruno, excellent guy. I met him actually at an event last year. I was at actually Form Next and Lincoln from STLFlix. Another awesome guy. Just a really good group of people. And yeah, they have some awesome models, courses, AI, a lot of stuff. If you're not sure, if you for some reason haven't heard of STLFlix, go check it out. STLFlix.com. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, they're releasing stuff, nonstop there. So go check them out. Check them out on YouTube. As he said, there's some actually helpful videos talking about like waste, and I mean they've got a lot of different videos. So go check them out. Give them some support, and maybe you'll join in. They have deals all the time, different discounts and everything for the services. So you never know what you might be able to get in there. But with that said, we do have a giveaway also going right now. If you type in "I am awesome" in chat, it's gonna give you a chance to win some filament here in just a bit if I make it and I don't choke to death. Oh, excuse me. Okay, there we go. So with that said, we have a couple of different things going right now. We still have STLFlix. We don't own STLFlix. Let me reiterate there. We have exclamation point, I can't even remember now, PML, almost STL, PML for Polymaker Labs. If you said that in chat there, you're going to link to Sean's TikTok, where he is dressed up as the scientist, giving you the tips, tricks, and troubleshooting on 3D printing, which that information is then either taken from or put into, if it's not there yet, on our wiki at wiki.polymaker.com, or exclamation point wiki in the chat if you want the easy link. And that is a ton of great information. It's not just filament stuff. It is helpful for anybody in 3D printing, from new people, newbies, to veterans, to everything in between. So go check that out. And then Sean's videos come out throughout the week, and they're always just fun little bits of information to help you along your way. We also have exclamation point IPC, and that's twitch.tv//Pezliz. One of these days I'll get through this flawlessly. Doubtful. But she is doing 2 shows, Imprinting Color, sponsored by Polymaker, and also Pezliz Presents. Imprinting Color is on Wednesday, and that's where she showcases new colors, and we have plenty of them, with more and more coming, and just how cool ways to print them, showcase them in different ways, and just show them off in general if there are new colors. Pezliz Presents, she's working with designers to build our designer portfolio, to help more designers connect with us and us connect with the designers, to have awesome models to show off our new filaments in really awesome ways. Not everybody wants to stare at just a picture of a spool when they're trying to decide if a color's right for them. We do our best to have true colors in the pictures and prints that really represent those colors and effects. So we'll be working with more designers to do that throughout the year. But with that said, we have a giveaway, and I have a cough. And I'm back. That says 0 entries. As soon as I click that, it refreshed. So let's check this. I have it set up. Let's go here. Okay, everybody that stayed until now and has supported the show up until now, type in "I am awesome" in chat, and that's going to get your chance to win some filament. I apologize. There we go. I'm gonna ramble for a little bit here, because I want everybody to get a chance to enter into this contest that I'm an idiot on. You can also put Joel as slow, and that's going to win you nothing. But get your chance in there. We'll do a drawing here as those numbers count up. Looks like they're getting up there. But as always, I want to tell you guys, I appreciate you all. You have supported Polymaker. You've supported me. You've supported the togetherness of us both through the show, through the Discord, and helping the Discord grow, the Facebook groups grow, everything. It is not, what do I say? What's the word I'm looking for? It's not unappreciated. It's very much appreciated. I don't know what word I was looking for there. But no, seriously, we appreciate all the support. You guys make an awesome community even better. Invite more people in and help them out. It's been a very fun place, and we're just going to make it even more fun and more better and more bigger and more 3D printing-ish. I don't know. I'm just wasting time so you guys have a chance to win some filament. But no, coming up though, real quick, is AnimeCon. AnimeCon is next weekend. I'm doing my best to figure out how it's just me, and luckily it's a small booth. I do have Bexy Beans, part of our community. She's actually one of the organizers. Has been phenomenal on assisting things and taking deliveries of things for me so that it can get to the show. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get some time to where I can stream. I'm not good at getting like content, like recording and then making a video out of it. It's just not my bag, baby. But I like lives. I like talking to you guys. And if I can get a chance, I'd love to film from there. I'm not just show our booth. It's not anything extravagant. Some kind of, I put together a little bit educational just to showcase some stuff, but just overall the con, because then I go to Netherlands, which I hope to also be able to do some stream there at the EU office and warehouse. Because then after I'm there, I'll be building a Panchroma wall game there. And then me and Gwen of the EU team will be driving. So that'll be a fun little road trip back to Manchester for Smurf, where we're going to be having just a fun time. The wall game is going to be set up there. Some other awesome prints and good use cases of filament. And you can't see it behind me. As I said earlier, there will be the weapon from Mira of K-pop Demon Hunters. I haven't yet fully watched the show. I've watched enough to see what colors were in that staff when I printed it. But the voice actor for Mira is going to be there, and she's going to sign that for us to allow us to then take it to Smurf to put up for auction. So even if you're not a K-pop Demon Hunter fan, you know somebody that is. I don't know what the auctions go up to. I don't know what the pricing. Maybe it'll be obtainable. Maybe there'll be some crazy high bidder. I don't know. But they believe they're going to have an online aspect too, where you can do bidding too. I think it's all during the event. So even if you can't make it, don't hold me to it. But I'm pretty sure I remember them saying that. Okay. But let's see here. Check Discord about printing things. What? Oh, you're talking. I've seen that message. Yeah, there was 3 back-to-back meetings before this show. So it's, I was surprised we started at 7. Anyway, we are going to get ready to draw. This one time you can be his boss. No one's my boss except Nick and Zhao Fan and Andy. Okay. There's either way. We're going to go ahead and go. I'm not going to draw. I'm going to waste some more time. Oh, I'm going to go away. Let's make this pop up and this go here and this go here. I'm going to talk you through everything I'm doing right now. Who do we got live? That's what I want to know. Do, 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 do. Oh, they're playing video game. Is there nobody that's 3D printing right now? Or making, I guess. Ooh, you know what? No, let's do what we, this is the other thing we like to do. Since people are video gaming, let's go. Makers and crafting. What are we going to find here? Let's scroll down. Okay, this is interesting. Hold on, let me make sure it's safe. This looks like it might be a new person to streaming, and they are making puppets and learning to stream. What perfect person to support in their journey of making and being on stream, where it can be kind of nervous. I know I've been there, done that, but let's think it's right. Oh no, hold on. I gotta do it differently. The app is still not signed in. Apologies. I promise we are really going to do a drawing. I'm not leading you on. This format. I meant to do that after Tuesday's stream too, where I updated my app. Let's go here. Let's go channel. Let's go here. /raid. Boom. Bing. Raid has been created. We're going to raid out to Panda Sightings, who is doing a puppet show right now, but it says making puppets and learning to stream. So, let's support another maker and then their, desire to be streaming, because it's a fun time, especially when there's cool people to support. But with that said, we're going to do drawing. Here we go. Finally, I know 12 hours later, tell me about it. I ran out of filament. That's why I'm not doing the giveaway. I'm all out. Tony Wright 6732. You know how to get a hold of me. Reach out to me. Congratulations on winning a spool of filament. For those that are new here, we are here every single week, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also are typically live at 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard on Tuesdays for community chats, where you get to hear me ramble on a lot more than I'm already doing now. So come hang out, come chill, or come just watch the next show where we meet a new maker every single episode. So thank you all for your support. You guys are awesome. Have a wonderful night, wonderful weekend, and wonderful week.